Okay, so we're going to go over something that is very rarely ever discussed by anybody. And usually you don't learn this stuff until you've been working in IT for years, right? So I had the benefit of when I first started working and cut my teeth walking into IT at Act for Healthcare to learn about data centers. But I really didn't fully understand what a data center was, how internet connectivity got to a data center, what an internet exchange was used for, what submarine cables were for, and what they did. So what I'm going to do is kind of show real quick, try to keep this kind of short, and explain what is a data center, how do you connect to it throughout the world. So one of the things you'll see on the screen right here is a submarine cable map, right? This is literally connections, and this is public information, right? So this is literally connections all around the world from one site to another. These are physical cables that are run on the ocean floor between land masses, right? So what is a data center? This is another submarine cable map, and it shows the different connections between the different locations. It identifies, and you can see here, you can deep dive in the supplier, who's connecting where, and it's extremely detailed information. And it also helps you, and you just scroll out with the mouse, to understand how something's connecting to one environment. Say, for example, you're trying to troubleshoot a problem and you're trying to get connectivity to a particular region, and you're in Kenya, right? Or it's in Somalia, or you're in some other region of Africa trying to get connectivity in Nigeria, right? So you want to go ahead and go up, you go ahead and dig down, and you dig, and you're looking for that cable. This is just one example. Okay, so you're not in Africa. Say you're in the UK, Ireland, and you want to dig, and see the main connection coming in and looking around, right? So what is a data center? That's the submarine cable map. That's the internet connectivity from one region, one continent to another, right? So that traffic that you see going all across the world, you hear about CDNs and data replication to different countries and regions and local zones and things like that. This is a physical representation of what that actually is. So let me move the screen a little bit. So these are data centers. This is a data center map. Now, no data center on earth is going to give you their address, right? So for the most part, you go to almost any data center website. Let's just pick Equinix in the US and see if they have, let's see, America's data centers. Go back, you pick data center, America's data center. So they'll tell you the city, but they're not going to tell you exactly the address where it is. No data center does that for security reasons, right? So, and let's just go back. Okay. So there are data centers literally all over the planet, right? So when you hear about cloud, when you hear about AWS or Google Cloud or Azure or some of these different cloud service providers, Vultr, DigitalOcean, etc., they're either co-located in one of these sites or they have a dedicated site to their company, right? For example, like Google and Oracle and AWS, right? So this is Google's data centers, and we'll go ahead and click on locations. And these are their dedicated locations throughout North America, right? And South America, Europe, Asia, right? Singapore, Japan, click on Japan, and then you can kind of do your research from there. Same thing with Amazon, right? So Amazon has their data centers. They have their data center map where they're located at, the different cities. Like I said, you'll never get the address on the internet for security reasons. And regions, availability zones of the respective areas. Let's see, the Middle East, Africa. This is Saudi Arabia coming soon, Bahrain, uh, and then UAE, etc., etc. So, and even Alibaba. I might be butchering that. So, and as you can see, and Alibaba is a very large cloud service provider outside of the U.S. So everything is just not AWS and Google or Microsoft around the world. There are other cloud service providers, right? Let's look at DigitalOcean. I got my mic in the way. Sorry. Do Ocean data centers, right? Okay, digital ocean data centers, region availability, global infrastructure. So this is kind of just orienting you to where these physical locations are, right? So when you're designing a platform or architecture, or you're working on something, you're trying to figure out how to troubleshoot a problem, or there's an internet connectivity issue because it's a part of the world that has problems with internet, whether it's India or Africa, or some part of the US or South America. When you're dealing with data centers, you're dealing with a global infrastructure, right? So this is just a representation of something to kind of keep in mind. This is a very high level view without going too deep into what a data center is. But a data center essentially is a number of servers and storage and networking in one location with redundancy in another location. And this is how the world's data transmits to each other. So when you see an app on this thing and it's sending you data, it's because it's coming from a data center somewhere in this map in the world. So for Linux, for cloud, for cybersecurity, it does not matter. A data center is at the heart of everything that happens all around the world, whether it's a co-location site where a cage is sitting inside of a data center, or it's a large, hyper converged, structured, automated data center somewhere in the world. And that's just a high level overview. And welcome to data centers and also submarine cable maps. It's pretty cool, right? Have you ever heard of this? Okay, we'll talk soon.